Do you have a Samsung The Frame TV that has no picture or won't power on? Do you have a standby light or clicking from the box? Then most likely you have a defective One Connect box. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to diagnose it and how we fix it. This box belongs to the 2022 and 2023 55-inch with model QN55LS03BAFXEA and has part number BN96-54413P. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Nick. I started Nick's Electronics Repair over a decade ago, and since then we have fixed over 1,000 of these One Connect boxes. Now, inside of the box are a power supply and a main board. And while the main board can fail and cause similar types of issues, 9 times out of 10 we see failures with the power supply. So that's the first part we're going to be looking at. In order to test the power supply, we're going to disconnect the cable here, and we're going to remove the 2 silver screws here and here, and perform a few tests of the power supply using a multimeter. We now offer 2 options for this repair. If you want the most affordable option, you can send in your defective One Connect box for our standard repair service where we test it, repair it, and send it back. If you need your TV working faster, you can purchase one of our refurbished One Connect boxes instead. We ship it out right away. You install it to get your TV back up and running, then send us your defective box back as a core and get a $100 refund. If you're not sure what to do next, go to the link in the description and fill out the contact form. Tell us your model and symptoms and what you've tried so far. One of my techs will review it and get back to you with clear next steps. My very first step is to go to our resistance ohms mode, and we're going to first start by checking our fuse right over here next to the power plug. Now we want to see 0 ohms. Very low resistance means that the fuse is good. If we have very high resistance, then that means that the fuse has failed open and will need to be replaced. So we have 0.1 ohms, that's a good fuse. We have a second fuse hiding over here. And we also have very low resistance, 0.0 ohms. So both my fuses are good. Something else to check is right in this area. So if we look more closely, you'll notice a few blue capacitors. Sometimes when they fail, they will actually explode and start burning. I don't see any burn damage. They're not exploded. They visually look good, so that tells me those are fine. Next, we're going to look a little farther to the right. Right over here, we have this transformer and a transistor that is covered over here in silicone. If we flip it to the back and keep an eye for it right here, we're going to want to do another check. Also still in resistance mode. I'm putting one lead on the center pin and the other on the outer pins. And we want to make sure that we have resistance. So unlike with the fuse, if we have 0 ohms, it means we have a short, and a transistor is not supposed to have 0 ohms. But we're seeing about 219, 220 kilo ohms, so that's thousands of ohms. And on the other leg, a similar reading. So that transistor has not failed shorted. This is one of the parts that most commonly fails. Next, we're going to switch to the microscope. These are the 3 legs of the transistor that we just checked. We placed one lead on the center one over to the right, and our other lead on the upper and lower, which are the outside legs. We didn't find a short, but often if we look at this top leg here very closely, we can often find large cracks on the joints. Now, this is actually not the case today. I did remove a lot of the silicone that is encasing it, so you're still seeing a little bit of residue here. That's what this is. That's just silicone. But I'm not seeing that large crack that would indicate a bad connection. So to me, that means that we can also rule that out as a potential fault. All right, the next step is to do voltage checks. So this one's a little bit more delicate. If you're not sure how to do this safely or have never done it before, I do not recommend that you do it because there is a high risk that you could injure yourself or damage the board beyond repair. All right, we are plugging in the units. Again, I just heard a faint click, and right now we're still in that resistance ohm mode. We're going to switch it to DC. All right, we want to be very careful. We have a metal heatsink here. We don't want to touch it accidentally. We see 13 volts. Okay, and we have 2 exposed metal test points. In DC mode, we are reading 12.89. Just above it, it might be hard to see on camera, but it does state A13 volts. So that tells us our A13 volt line is good. Below, we have B, 350 volts. So let's go ahead and put one of our leads on each of the test points. And we do not have any voltage. We are at 0 volts. So that confirms the power supply is defective, and that is the cause of our issue. If we had our 350 volts, then that would mean that the power supply is fully functional because we have both the output A13 volt and the B350. At that point, we would probably start looking at the main board inside of the One Connect box. Maybe the One Connect cable is defective, or something else with the TV has a fault. But as I mentioned earlier, most of the time it is the box, most of the time it is the power supply. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out exactly why our 350 volt is not present. We're going to flip the board over, and I'm going to use a discharging tool to remove some of the power in our filter capacitors. And you know what, we're going to switch over to the microscope actually again, and we're going to follow the 350 volt trace. On the back side of the power supply, we have one of our test points here and one of our test points here. This is the negative and this is the positive. So we're going to start by following the trace for the positive. It goes up here. Well, so I guess first off it goes here to our connector output that then goes to the main board. So that is a dead end. We're going to go the other way, which goes from here to here. Okay, what is that? That is a little transformer, I believe. And it is, or an inductor, sorry, not transformer, an inductor. So as we follow the trace up from the inductor, we have what looks to be 2 jumpers that go here. If we keep following, we have another leg over here that seems to maybe jump to here. Let's inspect what this is. I think it's a capacitor. Yeah, it's going to be CM816. And then just below are the 2 jumpers, JP849, JP84, and that's covered, probably 8. So let's look at those 2 jumpers. They then go over here to this transistor. And here we can see physical damage. Okay, what is the physical damage that I'm referring to? Let's zoom in a little more. We can visually see the trace here. There's discoloration right here. You see that discoloration? It's a little lighter green over here than it is here. And that looks to be because the component got pushed through the board. Back to our continuity mode. We have a beep when we have continuity. Okay, I have continuity between the leg of the component and the trace. So that means that that's okay. But over here, we can see full separation. So one leg or one lead on, oh yeah, actually, look at that, it's moving. So one lead on the leg of the component, one lead on the trace, and we get no beep. So we have full separation between the leg of this component and the trace. Let's keep checking this one. Do we have continuity? We do. Can I move it? No, I'm trying to move it, but I can't. Okay. Do we have anything else? Any other damage? No, that looks good. So let's flip this over real quick, just out of curiosity. So it looks like it's going to be this component right here, which is a diode. I'm going to do a quick check. No shorts, no beep, no beep. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's this one. And then this is, okay, this is the diode, sorry. Our diode is between this leg here and this leg, and we have no beep, so no short. Okay, again, we're going to do voltage checks. I do not recommend you do this. We are just doing this on camera to show you. So I'm plugging the board back in. We are now live. This is dangerous. You should not do this. The board is now upside down. I am going to grab my negative from the test points. Positive. We still don't have our 350 volts. I'm following the trace to the pad. Still no 350 volts. I'm now going to measure the leg that is separated on that diode. And we have 413 volts. So that does confirm we have power to that leg, but then we don't have that power follow through to the connector. So let's go ahead and disconnect the power. And again, we're going to discharge. And next we will fix the trace. All right, so So what we're going to do here is we are going to expose the copper on the trace in the area that was torn. And this is just a very small electronics handheld Dremel. And I'm just using this to expose the copper. Now I did expose accidentally a little too much copper over here, so we don't want to accidentally bridge to that. We're going to add some solder to the copper trace. And we're just going to bridge the whole thing. Give that a clean. And we're going to do the same over here because this is a different component. This is not the same diode, but this one also had the pad lift. Now, I don't know why this happened. Most likely, I'm thinking there was some sort of shock. Maybe the customer accidentally dropped their One Connect box. I don't know the full story. All we know is that they said that the box stopped working, and we have it here in our shop now. All right, finally, we're going to do a closer inspection to the other side of the diode. I just want to make sure that this diode, both legs of the diode, are not affected. I think they might be, which is why I want to double check it. So we're just removing some of that silicone. Okay, and that actually looks to be in pretty good condition. I don't think there's any reason to be worried. With that said, we're just gonna give it a quick reflow. Got a little bridge, that's okay. Those two parts are supposed to be connected, but the joint is not super clean, so we're just gonna add a little flux. And that looks a little bit better. Quick clean with isopropyl alcohol. Final bench test, plugging it back in. I heard the click, still in our DC mode. We have one lead on our negative test point and one on the positive. And look at that, we have 394 volts. Now, yeah, it is 50 volts higher than the expected reading of 350. I don't know why exactly. I've noticed that on some of the power supply we do get exactly 350. On some versions we get 395, 400. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but I do know that that is normal. All right, at this point, I believe we have fixed our power supply, so we're gonna go ahead and plug it back into the box and then do a final live test with the TV. All right, we'll connect the One Connect cable back in first. Our power plug. We still have our red light. Let's press the power button. It's flashing. And look at that, the TV came right on. So that confirms it. We have a successful repair. If you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.